In Hollywood, pushing for greatness is expected, but sometimes directors take it too far. From emotional torment to physical injury, the line between performance and punishment has been crossed more than once. In today's video, we're diving into 9 shocking examples of directors pushing actors to their breaking point, and the behind-the-scenes battles that left lasting scars. This isn't about drama for drama's sake. These are real moments where actors suffered for their craft, sometimes without ever consenting to the extremes they were put through. Directed by the legendary Stanley Kubrick, The Shining is one of the most iconic horror films ever made. Starring Jack Nicholson as Jack Torrance and Shelley Duvall as his tormented wife Wendy, the film tells the story of a man's descent into madness while snowed in at the haunted Overlook Hotel. But behind the camera, Kubrick subjected Duvall to what many now consider psychological abuse. He isolated her on set, constantly belittled her performance, and forced her to shoot the same emotionally grueling scenes over 120 times, including the infamous stairwell confrontation. Duvall later revealed that the experience led to hair loss, nervous breakdowns, and severe exhaustion. Kubrick reportedly told the crew not to sympathize with her, believing that her real fear and stress would translate better on screen. It did, but at what cost? The Exorcist, directed by William Friedkin, shocked audiences with its intense portrayal of demonic possession. The film stars Linda Blair as the possessed child Regan, and Ellen Burstyn as her increasingly desperate mother. What many don't know is that Friedkin went to disturbing lengths to get authentic performances. In one scene, Burstyn is violently pulled backward by wires. She told the stunt team it was too rough, but Friedkin ordered they pull harder without telling her. She smashed into the floor and injured her spine. Her scream in that take is real. Friedkin also fired guns on set, slapped actors, and intentionally kept the cast on edge. He may have delivered a masterpiece, but Burstyn later admitted that she's never fully recovered physically. Directed by James Cameron, Titanic is a romantic epic set against the tragic real-life sinking of the RMS Titanic. Starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet, it became the highest-grossing film of all time upon release. But behind the scenes, Cameron's relentless perfectionism made the shoot a nightmare. The film's water scenes were filmed in freezing conditions, with actors spending hours soaked. Winslet suffered bruises, a chipped elbow, and hypothermia. She later said, "There were moments I genuinely thought I was going to drown." Tensions escalated so badly that someone on set allegedly spiked the crew's soup with PCP, leading to over 50 people being hospitalized. Winslet vowed never to work with Cameron again unless she was paid a lot of money. Apocalypse Now, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, is a psychological war epic loosely based on Heart of Darkness. It follows Captain Willard, played by Martin Sheen, as he journeys into the heart of the Vietnam War to assassinate a rogue colonel. The production was chaotic and dangerous. Filming in the Philippines, the cast endured typhoons, budget problems, and actual military helicopters flying overhead. Sheen suffered a near-fatal heart attack during filming and returned to the set shortly after recovering. Perhaps most shocking, the hotel room breakdown scene, completely real. Sheen was drunk, injured himself punching a mirror, and Coppola kept rolling, despite knowing Sheen was emotionally spiraling. David Fincher's Gone Girl is a stylish psychological thriller based on the best-selling novel. It stars Ben Affleck and Rosamund Pike as a couple caught in a manipulative web of lies, betrayal, and media frenzy. Fincher is known for being meticulous, and Gone Girl was no exception. The now infamous bedroom murder scene between Pike and Neil Patrick Harris was rehearsed and shot dozens of times, reportedly over 30 takes, in an emotionally draining sequence filled with blood, screaming, and physical contact. Both actors later said the process was exhausting and deeply uncomfortable. Harris admitted he left set bruised and shaken, while Pike described Fincher's directing style as brutal but brilliant. The Revenant is a survival epic based on the real-life story of frontiersman Hugh Glass. Directed by Alejandro Inarritu and starring Leonardo DiCaprio, the film chronicles one man's brutal journey through the wilderness after being mauled by a bear and left for dead. To make the film as real as possible, Inarritu shot in remote, freezing locations, using only natural light. DiCaprio endured sub-zero temperatures, ate raw bison liver, and waded through icy rivers. He later called it the hardest performance of my career. The extreme conditions pushed not just the actors, but the entire crew to breaking point. Several quit mid-shoot, and the production went massively over budget. But the result? DiCaprio finally won his first Oscar after years of waiting. In The Abyss, a sci-fi thriller directed by James Cameron, a team of deep-sea researchers encounters an alien presence underwater. Starring Ed Harris and Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, the film was praised for its groundbreaking underwater effects, but came at a major cost. Cameron insisted on filming real underwater freshwater scenes in massive tanks. Harris nearly drowned during one sequence and later admitted to crying in his car after filming. Mastrantonio collapsed from exhaustion during a resuscitation scene that took dozens of takes. The pressure was so intense that Harris allegedly punched Cameron during production. He's refused to talk about the experience in detail ever since, famously saying, "I don't want to talk about the abyss."
Whiplash, directed by Damien Chazelle, is a high-stakes drama about a young jazz drummer, played by Miles Teller, who enters a music conservatory run by an abusive instructor played by J.K. Simmons. The film's tension is real, and so were the injuries. Teller played many of the drum sequences himself, to the point of his hands bleeding on camera. Simmons, in character, would often strike and scream at Teller during filming, with some moments caught in unscripted bursts of intensity. Chazelle pushed for authentic exhaustion and pain, telling Teller not to hold back emotionally or physically. The result was electric, but left both actors emotionally raw. Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill saga follows the bride, played by Uma Thurman, on a quest for bloody revenge. The martial arts-inspired action epic is filled with brutal fights and stylized violence. But behind the scenes, things got dangerously real. Tarantino insisted Thurman perform a high-speed driving scene herself, despite her protests. The car crashed into a tree, leaving her with permanent injuries to her neck and knees. She wasn't allowed to view the footage until years later. Their relationship became deeply strained, and Thurman later said she felt betrayed and manipulated. Tarantino publicly apologized, but many felt it was far too late.
Directors are often celebrated for pushing boundaries, but when those boundaries become human limits, the line between passion and exploitation blurs. These stories are a reminder that behind the magic of cinema, real people are paying the price. If you like this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe to The Film Reel, and let us know in the comments which of these stories shocked you the most. Until next time, keep watching and stay safe behind the camera.